Well, thank you. Nice to see you all. Am I the only one feeling inspired here today? I was inspired by Ben Zanders talking about awakening the possibility in other people. And I guess as I'm, sitting here thinking, I want to add another question. How do we reawaken the feeling of connection to ourselves, to others, and to everything on this beautiful planet? My story starts really right here in Florida. Florida girl, growing up. Oops, here we go. My dream happened at age 14. I got to play Grieg's piano concerto with the orchestra, and at that moment I discovered I hated performing. So as that door closed, another door opened to go to college. Only I'm a public school kid, I'm a slow reader, and I was really terrified because I got into Harvard and I knew I wasn't prepared. And I decided I needed to take one course without reading lots of books and papers, and that's how I ended up in my first art class. And at graduation, my father asked, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be an artist. And he said, did any of your professors say you have talent and should pursue this? No. In fact, they'd said not to. But it's the only thing I want to do. So I applied to 7 art schools, and I was rejected by all 7 of them. So I realized I would have to become my own teacher and find my own way. And I, with a one-way ticket to Bali and $300 in my pocket, I proceeded to apprentice myself with craftsmen. And this is my first satisfying painting. And I did that for 10 years. And I applied for a grant to go study textiles and crafts in India and to teach painting. And I shipped all of my paints there. The deadline for these shows for the US Embassy arrived, but my paints did not. And every day I would take a walk on the beach for exercise, and at the end of the day, the fishermen were reeling in their nets into these mounds on the sand. And I realized I didn't have the money to make the sculptures I imagined at the scale I wanted. And so I looked at these nets and I thought, that's volumetric form without heavy solid material. And so I started to work with the fishermen to create my very first sculpture. It's a self-portrait. The title is Wide Hips. And we lifted them up into the air to take photographs for the invitation card. And at that moment, I discovered they danced in the wind in these ever-changing patterns. And I was completely mesmerized. So I didn't set out to be a sculptor of wind. I was just engaging with materials and methods in the